Lexie, did you come into tonight kind of expecting to play darn near the whole game just with the injury situation and the personnel available?
Damn, you played 37 minutes.
You played a lot too, Kels. What did you play? 35. I mean, yeah, we're down people, so gotta suck it up, play a little tired a few minutes, and take in those timeouts as best we can. But yeah, I mean, we're down people, so everyone's got to do a little more.
Yeah.
For you offensively, was the plan to kind of try and get some looks inside early to get yourself going and then start working from the outside, or was that just kind of how the game set itself up?
Just to read the defense, I think I got some really good passes on the back cuts, and that's a testament to my teammates, finding me, but keep moving, just reading whatever they're given.
Lexie Hull didn't just score. She announced herself. On a night when the Indiana Fever could barely dress a rotation, Hull walked into Gainbridge like someone who had decided, quietly, that the story was going to run through her. Back cuts that felt like ambushes, catch-and-shoot threes that barely touched the rim, a career night built on timing, poise, and a stubborn refusal to fade into the background.
McBride was an all-star for the 5th time in her career as Boston goes backdoor to Hull, working on Williams. Hull gets it to go, and a foul.
And yet, as that star turn was unfolding, the floor kept falling out from under Indiana. The injuries didn't trickle, they piled up. The halftime lead didn't slip, it vanished. By the end, we were left with two truths at war with each other. Lexie Hull was the heartbeat, and the Fever still let another winnable game get away. So what exactly did she say afterward that's got the locker room buzzing? What are the real reasons a 32-7 third quarter swallowed an entire evening? And is this about legs and bodies or decisions and adjustments?
Career high for you tonight. How'd that first half feel, especially with 18 and just 20 minutes of play?
I mean, it obviously feels good, I think. For me, just playing with confidence. We're missing people, so everyone's got to do a little bit extra, be a little bit more aggressive offensively. So that was my mindset going in, and obviously it feels good to see the ball go through the net.
Let's unpack the whole thing. From the opening tip, Hull looked different. Not reckless, not heat check happy, deliberate. When Minnesota overplayed the wing, she cut behind the ball. When defenders sagged toward the lane, she popped out clean and made them pay. 18 points by halftime, 23 for the game, 9 for 16 from the field, 4 of 7 from deep, and nearly 37 minutes on the floor. Those numbers don't read like a role player sneaking in a good night. They read like a guard who recognized the assignment, raised her hand, and executed.
Second all-star appearance was right here in Indianapolis back in July. Oh, looking inside for Boston. She will launch and knock down a three. Lexie Hull's hit a pair. Get to that game, but foul line continues to flummox Smith here this year. Here's Hull backdoor, puts on the brakes and lay it in. It's a Lexie Hull show here.
Asked how she found that rhythm, Hull kept it simple. Read, react, keep moving. She talked about teammates finding her on those back cuts, about being more assertive because bodies are down, about living with tired legs and squeezing everything out of timeouts. No drama, no excuses, just a veteran answer from a young player who gets it. When your roster is taped together, somebody has to go first.
In Chloe Bibby's absence, you'll likely see a lot of Turner on the floor here today as Lexie Hull launches and hits. It's a three-point parade.
Going in.
Here is Hull. Look how aggressive Lexie Hull has been here in the first half. That was her 8th shot. Lexie Hull with all the confidence in the world. Petty, wide open. Oh, yes!
And that roster, it was already thin before the ball went up. Caitlin Clark, out. Sophie Cunningham, out. Sydney Coulson and Ari McDonald, sidelined. Then, right before the game, Chloe Bibby felt something in her knee during warm-ups. Out as a precaution. In the fourth quarter, Odyssey Sims signaled to the bench. Needed a sub. Didn't return. Evaluation pending. That's 6 rotation pieces you planned on losing, gone. That's draw lineups in pencil and pray the eraser lasts 40 minutes thin.
16 in the first half for McBride. Hull catch and shoot, knocks down another. 18 for Hull. That is a new...
Those scratches changed real things. With Bibby out, Indiana lost one of the only forwards who can stretch and stabilize the wing. With Sims exiting late, the Fever were down the one veteran who could organize sets, slow a run, and get the ball delivered to Aaliyah Boston in rhythm. A hardship signee, she Petty, had to step onto the floor and run actions she'd barely walked through. It was brave. It was necessary. It was also a reminder. This team is learning each other's names and tendencies mid-flight. Still, there were bright threads holding the game together. Kelsey Mitchell carried the banner like she always does. 27 points, 5 dimes, 5 of 7 from 3, and a presence that forced Minnesota to live in rotation on every possession. Before tip, teammates arrived in MVP Kelsey shirts. Afterward, Mitchell said the gesture hit her hard, that it made her feel valued by the people she battles with. Then she played like it, refusing to let the thing spiral without a fight.
Lexie Hull tonight, career high for her, just especially effective there early on. What were you seeing from her performance?
She was aggressive. I mean, she was hunting shots. She was aggressive to the rim. You know, she knew we needed another scorer on the floor, and because of the attention that Kelsey and AB get, she was getting free and she was hunting shots, and that's what we're going to need from her.
Boston's line won't go viral, but it mattered. 15 and 6. Heavy minutes and a steady post target on a night spacing came and went. When the offense remembered to enter early, when timing wasn't late and angles weren't clogged, Boston scored. When it wasn't, she fought for tough catches, absorbed contact, and tried to keep the floor balanced while cross-match lineups shuffled around her.
Turner with the offensive rebound. Hole is wide open and knocks down.
And Shea Petty, she gave them a jolt. 10 points, 3 for 4 from deep, clean mechanics, no hesitation. For someone who had barely met everyone, she played like a pro. Space, be ready, step into it, trust the shot. The full point guarding, the flow, pace, where's the weak side cutter stuff? Will take time, but the aggression was real. And Coach Stephanie White made sure to call that out. For a half, it felt like that energy might hold. Lexie flying, Kelsey orchestrating, Boston anchoring, Petty popping. This was the outline of a group that could punch above its weight. You could feel the bench lean forward after every make, like, yes, this is still in there.
She has managed everything so well, and not only the players resilient, but she's been resilient.
And so too is Kelsey Mitchell, who knocks down
In transition.
Boston and Carlton collide. No whistle either way. Mitchell fires away.
Then the third quarter hit like a siren. Minnesota spread the floor, went downhill in straight lines, and pounded the glass. The Lynx outscored Indiana 32-7 in a span that felt both endless and instantaneous. What had been a winnable, gritty fight turned into a hole. Late rotations became open threes. A missed box out became a putback. Then another. The pass into Boston arrived a beat late, was picked, and went the other way. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Was that purely fatigue? Partly 30-plus minutes on unfamiliar legs matters. But this is where the camera swings to the sideline, because fans didn't just see tired shots. They saw a lack of visible adjustments. Coverage stayed conservative, while Minnesota found a rhythm. The pace remained half-court heavy while legs looked cooked. Defensive pressure didn't climb. The Fever didn't throw a surprise at the ball or steal a possession out of a timeout. And because this script has played before, strong start, post-halftime fade, the patience outside the locker room is thinning.
In first place in the league. The only team that has already clinched a spot in the playoffs, obviously we know there's others. And McBride just reads it and eats it up.
Mitchell launches and knocks down a three. It's Mitchell's fort.
White didn't duck it. She talked about personnel breakdowns, about attention to detail, about how championship teams sustain focus across 40 minutes. She reminded everyone that Indiana is integrating new point guards who have barely practiced, and that communication gaps are real when you're teaching on the fly. All true. The game can be both things, a symptom of a ravaged roster and a test of a coaching staff's ability to steal minutes, disrupt rhythm, and buy breathers for a group on fumes.
Just obviously Chloe Bibby, a late addition to the injury report. Just when did that injury happen, or do you know the severity at this point?
Felt something during pregame, and so holding her out as a precaution. We don't know anything, so hopefully we'll get some more information tomorrow when she can be seen.
Had she been dealing with any soreness or anything like that in previous days, the week leading up to tonight?
Yeah, I think everybody's dealing with soreness at this point in the year. But yeah, I had been dealing with a little bit of knee soreness, and again, just want to make sure that we're cautious and figure out what's going on before she gets out there.
Here's the stance. Both realities are on the table. The injuries are brutal and human, and at the same time, you can still chase edges. You can trap an early ball screen to take the ball out of a hot guard's hands, even if only for 2 trips. You can burn a timeout at 9-2 instead of 14-2 when the run is still a jog. You can tweak matchups, let Brianna Turner spearhead the point of attack for a burst, put Hull on a weaker handler to keep her legs for offense, slide Boston up to slam the lane and live with a corner. None of that replaces Clark or Sims or Bibby, but it can shave the worst part of the storm.
Still think you want to play Lexie 40 minutes. How can you handle the wing without Chloe tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to do it by committee. Bree Turner can guard 5 positions, so she'll be out there defensively. We've got to try to manipulate lineups a little bit more to figure out who we can stretch the floor with. So probably on the floor at the same time as Didi in a lot of things that we do. But again, if it's not going to be spacing the floor in the half court, we've got to be able to get our defense to create some offensive transition opportunities. That doesn't always have to be steals for scores, but we've got to get missed shots that allow us to get out, run out, and try to create some things in transition.
The emotional core of this team is still intact, and you hear it in the way they talk about each other. The MVP shirts weren't a gimmick, they were a message about pecking order and pride. The way Lexie spoke, matter of fact, no self-congratulation, tells you she understands the assignment is bigger than her hot hand. And White's postgame, answer about roots, about character, and the kind of competitive habits that survive a long season, wasn't empty. Culture doesn't fix a 32-7 quarter, but it's why the fourth didn't become a scrimmage.
Oh my goodness, I was taken back. It was fun. It was funny. I was very humbled. I was grateful for my group. I love the people I play with, and to know that they would go out their way to make something like that happen for me, it means a lot more than people know, because I have been here the longest. I have, everything that people talk about, I have been, and to know that my teammates kind of like see me as, I have value somewhere, and I feel like they make me feel like, I'm important to them and vice versa. And so that value means everything to me. And anybody knows me, I'm a loyal type person. And so I'm going to forever look at them like forever friends after something like that.
Now the clock is pressure. The Fever sits 6th, barely ahead of the next wave, with 9th in the rear view, only a couple of bad nights away. There's a rematch with Minnesota coming fast. Lose back-to-back and the cushion evaporates. Yes, the Fever are taped together. Yes, a lot of this is survival. But the other truth is that nights like this, where Lexie takes the mic because she earned it, are the blueprint for something bigger. Before the injuries, you wondered what her ceiling looked like. Now you've seen it. It's a weapon you can lean on in the toughest stretch of the season.
Here's Boston backing her way inside, spins, fades, fires, and hits. A rebound a moment ago from Jessica Shepard. Third quarter. They are shooting 61% on the night. Boston pulls down the offensive rebound, and Indiana.
There's also responsibility that comes with that. When a player breaks out, the scouting report changes overnight. The next game, she's the top line in bold. Minnesota will sit on those back cuts, chase her off the line, and test her reads. That's when the counters matter. Slip the screen once. Ghost into a dribble handoff. Use her as a screener for Mitchell, then short roll for a floater or a touch pass to Boston. If she keeps making the next play rather than chasing the last one, you have a sustainable engine, not a one-night spark. And for all the debates about coaching, this part is on the group together. Communication has to be louder when familiarity is low. The first voice that sees a cross match calls it. The nearest player tags the roller, the next one cracks down on the glass, and you live with a tough corner 3 rather than a layup. That's not a system overhaul. That's pride in the dirty work when everyone's tired.
Mitchell in the second half and that overtime.
Well, we know she can heat it up.
Oh, Petty shaking off Carrington, and she hits her first shot with the Fever. It's a corner 3, and Indiana's opened up 4 for 5 from the 3-point. Fever on the night are shooting 69%. Look at Turner running the floor like a guard. Kick out Petty. Oh, yeah!
Here's where we land. Lexie Hull gave Indiana more than points. She gave them evidence. Evidence that there's another scorer on this roster who can scale up when the walls close in. Evidence that the spacing can survive if the ball pops and the body language stays upright. Evidence that on a night when the roster felt like a rumor, the Fever still had a pulse. But evidence doesn't count in the standings by itself. Sunday decides if this was a warning shot or a turning point. steal the rematch, and you stabilize the playoff climb while your stars heal. Drop it, and the math gets scary fast.
So, I'll put it to you. Is this primarily a coaching issue? Too slow to pull levers, too patient as runs snowball, or is it simply a roster stretched past its breaking point, where effort can't outrun attrition? Tell me where you stand in the comments. And if you're riding with Lexie after that performance, stamp it below Lexie Show. Let's see how many believers are still in this with her. Because the story of this season hasn't been written yet, and sometimes all it takes to turn a chapter is one player refusing to shrink when the lights feel too heavy. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the rematch breakdown. Tap like if you felt the heart from this group, and subscribe if you want straight talk without the fluff. The fever's margin is thin. The urgency is real. And right now, the ball is in their hands.